We would like to thank Ferhun Muşluoğlu, the Imam of the Hagia Sophia Mosque, for this beautiful recital of Quran. Distinguished participants, as Necip Fazıl Kısakürek articulated, the man of action, Fatih Sultan Mehmet the Conqueror, after conquering the Istanbul, it has initiated the series of conquest of Islam, which will go all the way to the Vienna. Hagia Sophia is this bolt which has been screwed to the Islam. If this series of conquests couldn't come to fruition, it is due to the failures of the followers. Hagia Sophia finally has opened its doors to the mosques and to the believers, and I do believe that it is time to revive Islam, which has been revived with the conquest of Istanbul by Fatih. It is not only important to establish peace only in Turkey, but all around the world, and it will only be possible if the Islamic countries come to the fore, because the religion of Islam doesn't only care after his own believers, but the whole humanity. In the 123rd verses of the Quran, it has been stated that hold on to the rope of the God and do not be separated and divided. In the Islamic region, we always
Karabağ meselesinde görüldüğü gibi 10 yıllarca yıl beklese çözüm asla gelmeyecekti. Ne zaman ki iki İslam ülkesi el ele sırt sırta verdi, Batı'nın maşası Ermenistan Dağlık Karabağ'dan sökülüp atıldı. Nitekim Türk Devletler Topluluğu'nun kurulması son yüzyıldır Batı'nın sömürdüğü Afrika'ya dönülen yüzümüz, gelecek şahlanışımızın birer muştusu değil mi? Bakınız, bir tevafuktur ki kongremizle aynı tarihlere denk gelen ve Cumhurbaşkanlığımızın himayesinde gerçekleştirilen Türkiye-Afrika Ortaklık Zirvesi bunun delilidir.
The Turkish and African summit is an indication of that. We have initiated it in 2017, and we are organizing the 5th of International ASSAM Congress. And through this congresses, we have undertaken the role of the foreman. As a result, with the connection of African and Asian continent, with the great role of our participants, we have coined a new term of Asia-Africa. So we should see a very important reality. If we are not fighting shoulder to shoulder, we will not be able to solve the problems of the Islamic countries. So with this mentality and understanding in mind, hopefully the 5th ASSAM Congress will be very instrumental and beneficial for the identification of the problems and the challenges of the Islamic countries. And I'm very proud to present you the opening ceremony of this Congress. So in order to deliver the opening speech, I would like to yield the floor to our Adnan Tanrıverdi, one of the ex-generals of our army. Thank you very much, Mr. Ersan. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate and the most merciful.
Ve salatu ve selam ala Resulüne Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ecmaîn. Afganistan, Amerika Birleşik Devletleri,
Afghanistan, America, Bangladesh, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Burkina Faso, Chad, East Turkestan, Morocco, Kashmir, TRNC, Libya, Malaysia, Egypt, Niger, Pakistan, Singapore, Thailand, Turkey, and from Jordan, we have participants who would like to deliver their speeches. I would like to say welcome to all of our participants, distinguished rector, distinguished head of the Islamic organizations, and valuable friends from Assam. I would like to greet you all with the most heartfelt sentiments and respect. I would like to thank Professor Ferruh, the Imam of Hagia Sophia, who honored us with his participation. I also would like to thank Professor Dr. Nevzat Tarhan, I also would like to thank Ali Kurt, the head of the Islamic organizations. Professor Dr. Mejid, I would like to extend my appreciation to him. Ali El-Karadai, Pakistan Defense Commission head. Said Musa. I would like to extend my deepest appreciation to all those participants. Welcome. You honored our Congress. You increased the meaning of our Congress. Thank you very much. I would like to thank our technical team who organized the technical infrastructure of our meeting. As a result, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we thought that it will be much more beneficial to organize our summit via online conference. We would like to thank Dumlupınar University, the Islamic World NGOs, and also the Association of Justice. I would like to thank all our professors who contributed to our Congress with their speeches, and I would like to extend my deepest appreciation to the members of the media. Our Congress is a civil society initiative, and I would like to continue with my speech with the main titles, as you can see in my presentation.
Osman Bey.
Devam ediyorsun.
Evet. Ayrıldı, koptu mu acaba bir ara?
Hayır başkanım, buyurun devam edin.
Peki.
Please continue. Our Congress is a civil society initiative. I would like to continue to my speech with the title, as you can see in my presentation. The aim of this Congress is to understand the geopolitical importance of the Islamic geography, and I will be mentioning to the Congress declarations of the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th ASSAM International Congress. And as a result, we will try to identify the joint foreign policy initiatives of the ASSAM and Islamic countries. The main aim of 5th International ASSAM Islamic Unity Congress is to serve to defining the legislation which will gather together all the entities of the Islamic world so that we can present a model for the Islamic countries. Our Congress will continue until 9 o'clock tomorrow, and we will analyze the foreign policy of the African continent, and at the same time, hopefully, we will be establishing a foreign policy based on the Confederation, and there will be 9 federal regions. As a result, the procedures of the foreign policy to be directed via those 9 regions will be established. Before proceeding with the main title of the Congress, let's assess the Islamic geography. As you know, 28 of those countries are in Asian continent, 27 of them are in African continent, and 4 of them are in the Latin American continent, the South American continent. Asia and Africa are the regions where the Islamic countries are predominantly located, and as a result, As an alternative geopolitical concept, the Eurasia, we define the Islamic geography as ASRICA, combined of Asia and African continent, and this is the epicenter and core of the ASSAM studies. 61 of those countries in the whole world are comprised of the Muslims. 1.85 billion of the total global population is comprised of Muslims. And 150 million square kilometers of the whole territory is comprised of the Islamic countries. 55.5% of the global oil reserves belong to the Islamic countries, and Islamic countries have the 65% of the natural gas reserves and the 64.1% of the production. And with its civilization and historical knowledge, the Islamic countries should connect their endeavors and efforts. As a result, we will become about the power of the future. Despite their real potential, unfortunately, the Islamic countries are the countries to whose territories there has been the highest level of intervention. Terror and anarchy is never ceased to exist in those lands, and if human rights and freedoms are violated, the income distribution is unjust, the political, social, and economic instabilities are predominant in those lands, and in order to solve their internal problems, unfortunately, the Islamic countries are always asking for the help of other countries. Hopefully, this platform will be very instrumental in terms of establishing the unity among the Islamic countries. The states are founded for the justice, and the justice requires internal security. That's why the internal matters and problems should be managed and administered from inside. As a result, internal safety and security, justice, and defense against the foreign forces should be at the epicenter of a geography. In such a geography, it means that the state is fully fledged, established. With these thoughts in our mind, I would like to repeat the aim of the ASSAM Congress. In order for those Islamic countries to come together under the umbrella of a same aim, we would like to come up with a role model legislation, and that's why a series of congresses have been planned. Hopefully, 61 of those Islamic countries will get rid of the chaos that they are in right now, and they will turn this globe into a geography of peace. And it is only possible if they have the common will. By taking into consideration the main area of action of those countries, we have planned to organize the ASSAM congresses, which will continue as of 2021, and in those congresses, the joint foreign policy procedures will be defined. And in 2017, we try to identify the administration type organs and the legislation. In 2018, we have identified the reasons for economic cooperation, and this year, hopefully, we will define the common and joint foreign policy procedures. In the upcoming year, hopefully, we will identify the joint justice system procedures, and in 2020, hopefully, we will define the main indicators for the common safety and security. The first of those congresses have been organized in 23rd and 24th of November 2017, and academicians and participants from 28 countries have participated in this Congress, and they have delivered their presentations. And those presentations are for the establishment of the welfare in the Islamic countries and the management and the establishment of the peace, prevailing justice, and the revival of the Islamic countries were among the main topics. And African continent has been defined as the core geography, and we have stated that the Islamic countries should connect together under this same will and common will, so that the Islamic ministries would be established within their own administration. And we stated that there is a high need for the establishment of the Islamic countries' Council of Representatives. And the Islamic countries' Council of Representatives, first and foremost, will find solutions to the internal conflicts in the Islamic countries. And this Council of Representatives will be working as an arbitration center. And its final aim will be able to establish the entities which will collect all those bodies under the same will. At the end of our first Congress, we have written a role model constitution, which is comprised of 61 pages. And this constitution, as a role model, was published in ASSAM website in 3 different languages. And this model, according to the constitution of ASRAM, the Confederation will be functional in 5 main areas: justice, defense industry, internal affairs, and foreign affairs. The Regional Islamic States Federation will be instrumental in 6 areas: custom, trade, economy, development, transportation and maritime activities, science and technology, culture and tourism. And the nation states are also responsible in the following areas: education, energy, natural resources, forestry activities, social policies, finance, health, youth and sport, and environmental activities. Within the process of the Islamic countries' unity, we believe that it is essential to establish the union of Islam, and this should be comprehended by the Islamic Ummah. This is the first prerequisite of the establishment of such a union. But its role model constitution, ASSAM, have drawn a roadmap for the realization of Islamic union. And we believe that the Islamic countries can actually connect with each other under 4 main pillars. The competencies, the opportunities, the strengths, and the powers are being defined in the constitution, laws, and bylaws. And the representative Council of Representatives, comprised of 61 Islamic countries, should be established as soon as possible. As a second step, the Islamic Countries Confederation should be responsible for justice, safety, and security, and the foreign policy procedures should be identified. And as those studies are going on, the common will of the Islamic countries, which are closer to each other in terms of ethnicity and geography, should establish regional Islamic countries' parliaments, and those parliaments should turn into a confederation. The Regional Islamic Countries Confederation should be defined in 9 different geographies, taking into consideration their geographies and ethnicities, which you can see in this slide. There will be 12 countries in Middle East, 8 in Mid-Asia, 4 in East Asia, 4 in Southeast Asia, 6 in North Africa, 6 in East Africa, 9 in West Africa, 8 in Southwest Africa, and 4 of those states will be in Europe. And within this phase, the African Islamic Countries Confederation will be established, under which there will be 9 regional confederations. And after the realization of those regional confederations, the federations should be established for each region, and those regions should be under the confederation.
Konfederasyonunun hiyerarşik bağlantısı tamamlanarak yansıda görüldüğü şekilde ASRICA mihverindeki 61 İslam ülkesinin milli sınırları ve yapısı değişmeden etnik ve coğrafi yakınlıklarına göre 9 bölgesel federasyon ve bu bölgesel İslam federasyonların oluşturduğu konfederal bir yapı ile bir irade altında toplanarak İslam birliğinin teşekkülü sağlanması mümkün görülmektedir. Dördüncü safhada ise hiyerarşik yapı tamamlandıktan sonra da merkezi müşterek irade İslam ülkeleri Konfederasyonu Meclisi'nde, bölgesel oluşların müşterek iradeleri de bölgesel İslam ülkeleri federasyon meclislerinde temsil edilmelidir. Meclislere bağlı icra organları oluşturulmalıdır. Merkezi ve bölgesel icra organlarının merkezlerinde adalet divanları ve adalet divanlarının kararlarının uygulanmasını sağlayacak ani müdahale kuvvetleri kurulmalıdır. Asayiş ve iç güvenliğin temini için teşkilatlanma yapılmalı. Dış güvenliğin sağlanması için savunma sanayi üretimi işbirliği oluşturulmalı ve savunma ittifakı organize edilmelidir. Ortak dış politikaların belirlenmesi ve uygulanması için teşkilatlanılmalı. Ekonomik işbirliği oluşturulmalı. İslam ülkeleri Konfederasyonu ve bölgesel İslam ülkeleri federasyonları için üye devletlerin adalet sistemleri üzerinde insan hakları ve ceza mahkemelerinden oluşan bağımsız yargı sistemi.
And there should be the independent system should be established, and we can say that the Islamic Union can be established. We can say that as a result of the first ASSAM International Congress, this was the model that we did have. And when we look at the second International Congress, I would like to mention this as a summary. And this Congress was conducted in the 1st and 2nd November 2018 with the Islam economy and economic systems with the main team. And there were 66 academicians, and they presented 57 presentations. And as a result of the Congress, in the final statements, in order for the Islamic countries to reach the welfare of the world and to have the economic independence, they should use the technology of the era and encouraging production based on the exchange of services and assets, and without any foreign exchange rate, which protects the capital and the labor, and this economic system was taken to be necessary. And for that, there should be the trade union, and there should be the joint market, and the monetary union should be established. And of course, that there should be a joint fund should be established in the states, and in Islam, and the Islamic Electronic Union could be ASRICA dinar, can be used, and there could be the R&D used, and the common market, common manufacturing and R&D incentive funds should be established, and there should be joint investment fund, and also resource planning activities and R&D and innovation. There should be a common joint center, and there should be cooperatives, and Islamic systems should be ASRICA, and BOFA can be established. And there should be the systems, and there should be the preferential trade systems should be there, and also there should be a strong political will, and these are all declared, and of course this was put for the use of the public from the second ASSAM International Congress. And when we look at the third Congress, I'd like to mention this as a summary. And this Congress was established in 19 to 20 December 2019. It's the procedures and principles of the Islamic Union, the defense industry. And in the Congress, from 10 countries, there were 45 academicians, and there were 44 presentations. And as a result of the Congress, and of course it's the independence, and in the countries it is about the necessity of the weapons to be manufactured for this, and there is the Ministry of Defense Industry should be one of the 5 ministries, and there should be 9 sub-units of this ministry. And regarding the defense industry, there should be the product and inventory is the definition of the needs and storage and distribution, innovation, modernization, and also the recovery, and it should be made by the Ministry of the Defense. And under the defense industry in the confederations of the countries, there should be presidencies of the defense industry, and there, of course, there should be the establishment of the defense industry presidencies, and for the systems and regarding the manufacturing in the land, maritime, and air aviation, and cyber and electronic systems. The systems should be established, and in the main and sub contractors regions, there should be R&D standardization, certification, accreditation, codification, and also the repair and system maintenance repair system should be installed. And for the in these systems for the regional Islam federations and the nation states, the high schools, vocational high schools, vocational high schools, and in the universities, and also in the departments, this should be there. And this statement is prepared and is used for the use of the world. And in the 4th Congress, I'd like to mention this Congress as a result and summary. And this Congress was conducted at the 12th of December 2020. It is the definition of the principles and procedures for Islamic Congress, and from 15 countries and from 31 academicians, 27 presentations were presented in a video conference. And as a final statement of the Congress, we can say that the system, defense should be conducted by the center, and there are 5 countries, and with the ASRICA Islamic Countries Confederation, and with the Defense Ministry of Defense, with the General Command, and for the land, maritime, and air, and for the cyber and electronic command. And there are 9 regional federations, and in that there should be, and in the level of army, there should be a joint command should be established. And in the and when we look at the constitutions and draft constitution, in the Article 117, there's confederal presidency and confederal vice presidencies, and the regional federal presidencies. There will be the Ministry of Justice, Ministry of National Defense, Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, General Command, and for the land and maritime and air, and for the joint ones, there should be the systems. This is designed as a system, and and when we look at the joint command systems and the systems, and for communication support elements, there are 36 armies, and in the maritime 3 fleets and 3 fleets and 3 commands, and in the air command 9 strategic, 9 tactical commands, and 9 fusion commands. And for the air, there is a radar commands, and for the cyber and electronic commands, there are 9 cyber security and 9 electronic 4 commands are all designed to be established. And for the joint commands, and for all these for land, air, maritime, and air, and the cyber and electronic commands, there will be 9 logistical support commands. And except for these, for each and every one of them, there will be the command of education, and for these, there will be the fleet and port command, and for the air aviation, there will be in 9 commands that should be established. And when we look at the joint commands and when you look at institutions and organizations in all the federation geography, in each of them there will be communication and communication support and communication services support commands, and there will and these of course this will be allocated to the joint action commands. And this statement, this statement is also published in the ASSAM website. After giving information about this, I'd like to talk about what our expectations are from the 5th International Congress. And this Congress is about the Islamic Union, the joint foreign policy, procedures, and the principles. And the main theme is ASRICA Confederation. And the purpose of the Congress is that to have better relations with the neighbors and with the global powers, and also in the neighboring geographies, in the oceans and the internal seas, to protect the rights and interests, and to have the foreign policy and to come up with the principles and procedures of this. Of course, when we look at, you can see the subjects of the presentations that the academicians are going to present in the 5th ASSAM International Congress, ASRICA Islamic countries, geopolitical studies evaluation, globalization and their impacts on societies, and also and of course there's Islamophobia, the Turkestan issue and the policies, and in Kashmir issue and the policies to be followed, Afghanistan issue and the policies to be followed, for China, Silk Road projects and their effect on the Islamic geography, and the Middle East issue and the policies to be followed, the Libya issue and the policies to be followed, and also the global powers and their the policies, and also Turkish geography and the impact on the African countries. The other subject is that the organizations, that the competencies and in Islamic countries for the solution of the problems, and also the principles that are needed for the solution of the joint and exclusive problems of the Islamic countries, African Islamic, ASRICA Islam countries, Confederation, foreign policy principles and the procedures, and also to come up with a model, ideal model for this. Our Congress will be made through an online video conference system that will be published that is published in Turkish, English and Arabic languages. There is simultaneous interpretation, and the presentation summaries are that are going to be published in the ASSAM website, and for that, for the final statements of the Congress, these will be sent to all the invited people and the participants, to all the decision makers, and that will be published in the ASSAM website. And following that, every year, and for 2020, there will be joint justice system, and for 2023, the joint order and security issues will be addressed. And as a result, at the end of 2023, there will be a model which will gather together all the Islamic countries in a certain model will be published. And of course, I would like to thank each and every one of you, and we would like to thank all the institutions and organizations, and I would like to greet you with due respect. Thank you.